Welcome to Stirred Up. I'm Heather.
I'm Jessica.
Welcome to our podcast where business meets happy hour and we're serving up brand insights with bar rail banter.
We're two Midwest corporate pros who love dissecting popular brands, not just for their marketing genius or business moves,
but for their corporate integrity. Together, Jess and I dig into sustainability, leadership, and how brands are actually impacting the world we live in.
All while keeping it fun, relatable, and let's be honest, fueled by some Fireball too.
Woohoo! So whether we're clinking glasses to the brands who are doing it right,
or closing the book on the one that missed the mark,
we'll bring you the real, unfiltered takes on what the brands are doing that are shaping our world and the lives we live daily.
So grab a drink, settle in, and let's get this shit stirred up.
Yesterday to see if the ocean was too loud for recording when I called you, and I was so excited, like that you could FaceTime, like when you called me back, like not excited, but also didn't want to miss it. Like I did like a Heather move. Dude, I fucking threw out my neck getting out of bed, and it still hurts. I haven't complained about it at all because it's like there's really no point. But it's tight. So I've been laying like in a certain position in the bed up until recording because I have a good spot in the corner. So let me get in the corner.
I brought my entire pot of coffee. It's Dunkin coffee.
What's going on in your life? You look gorgeous today, by the way.
I'm wearing a Comfort Henley and I'm obsessed. And I got a t-shirt from Comfort and I'm obsessed. Comfort.com/stirreduppod. Why don't we get that one out of the way?
Welcome to Stirred Up. We're going to try again here, people. I was saying right before we got cut off, I am live in location from the Bahamas. We come home tomorrow. We're on spring break. And I was commenting on how gorgeous Jessica looks. And she was like, I have on my Comfort Henley, which I didn't even know they were Comfort Henleys.
Yeah, I'm very happy with it. And I got a Comfort t-shirt. I think I'm going to get 5, one for every weekday, and just make it like a summertime uniform. And they're so soft and so nice. Comfort.com/stirreduppod.
Yeah, and thank you to all of those who have bought Comfort merch underneath the Stirred Up logo. We're super excited to be a brand ambassador of Stirred Up or of Comfort. Those of you who've bought Comfort or have it, take pictures of yourself in it, your kids in it. I'm giving my kids Comfort for Easter. So we're super excited. Oh my God.
How's the Bahamas?
I almost divorced Mike this morning. You want to hear what he said to me?
Tell me.
So I'm on my phone and I'm looking at Margot Robbie, and I think she's a queen. I don't think I've ever talked about Margot Robbie. She's the Duchess. She's the Duchess from my buddy's favorite movie, my favorite movie, The Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay.
Margot Robbie is pregnant. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. And she's literally like more hot. Nope, you can't push on the door. I'm right here.
I'm not. I need to be dressed.
I'm recording.
A politician in North Dakota accidentally sent a dick pic to like the Dakota Attorney General and is now resigning. He's like
I thought he was actually like having like
sex.
whacking off.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I think that's what it was. But his dick was in the picture. It's just too much.
It's too much.
Too much.
And did you actually read the article? Because I did. Whether it's true or false. He had 2 minutes earlier taken a call about a police officer that had committed suicide.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I think that's what was like the hook, line, and sinker of
Jesus.
the what the fuck is wrong with people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one thing to accidentally send something like that. And then we could all call that a comment.
Context of when you sent it.
The context of when you sent it. Yeah.
Okay, more crazy shit in the world. Marcy sent me an article yesterday. Hold on, let me pull it up. Ohio Chick-fil-A owner accused of driving 400 miles to sexually abuse a child he met online on a Sunday, no less. A Chick-fil-A franchisee owner.
Well, they're closed on Sundays, so
He had time.
you could go worship the Lord, or you could go.
Yeah.
Not even funny. What the fuck is wrong with people? Hide your kids, hide your wives.
49 years old, trying to meet a 15-year-old he met online, broke into the family's home to attack.
Into the family's home.
That Chick-fil-A franchisee owner, just putting it out there. Oh, what region did I say that was? Just for Ohio. Belmont, Ohio. Gross.
Where?
Belmont, Ohio.
I thought I said Bell Creek.
Mike goes, Ohio's full of a bunch of fucking weirdos too.
I mean, I'd like some listeners in Ohio. I won't discriminate, but since we don't seem to have any, yes.
Yes. Yeah, if you want to prove to us that you're cool, or you make something cool.
If you're in Ohio, just come up
You know what? They do have the turnpike, which is fabulous. You just can't go fast enough on it. It's made to race like the Autobahn, but you're only allowed to go about 12 miles an hour.
bullshit.
Speed limit isn't optional in Ohio the way it is here and up in the
Right.
mountain.
It is optional here. I told Peyton that I needed to go fast today because we were running late, and she said, "But the police are going to give you a ticket." And I said, "I just hope they don't see me." She goes, "Oh no."
Bye, babe. No, don't come back.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway,
Tell me about
I'm
any-
showing. I'm scrolling. Sorry, you're talking.
Tell me about the Bahamas. Any highlights?
Yeah. Besides the divorce this morning, when he literally said to me, "Okay, I want to picture this for me." Okay, so I had Bennett before I graduated from college. Like he was actually a year old when I graduated, almost to the day from school. I bartended at Oscars in 2006 when you could smoke inside, when there were fights in there, when the police would walk through. I mixed drinks, I carried ice, I carried cases of beer, I inhaled cigarettes. Okay, some context. Worked till 2:00, mostly work day shift, but it was auto show weekend, and I worked 4 or 5 days before he was born, like to the where, and I couldn't walk anymore.
Yeah.
So this morning I'm looking at the fabulous Duchess, Margot Robbie, and she's pregnant and she's gorgeous. And it's a couple different scrolls on the Insta, because I was looking up Dunkin Insta. And she's walking with her husband on the rocks on one and walking on the beach on one. And then there's one where she's literally in the ocean and you can see it's almost like a crew. Damn it. A crew.
I'm keeping all those in there. It's just a part of stirred up.
Hurting my neck sitting here.
Shit,
Put out my neck yesterday trying to get out of bed. And there's one photo where she's not frolicking in the sun with her beautiful self and her husband. She's getting pulled out of what's presumably the ocean in like a little raft boat by a crew. And so I say to my husband, "Oh my gosh, how gorgeous Margot Robbie is. She's even more stunning, pregnant, and look at her. She's filming." And he like looks and he turns at me and she goes, "How is she filming and working right now?" I said,
"What the fuck did you think I did when I was pregnant?" That's really funny.
I literally had no words. I'm like, film a movie? It's not like she's like I hear what he's saying. Like, you can't film Tom Cruise Mission Impossible. But he was just so flabbergasted that this pregnant creature could possibly, when here his wife was inhaling other people's second, had to quit smoking herself, by the way, which was not a happy time in my life. I was fucking pissed. And then inhaled other people's cigarettes. I said, well, I'm sure she'll figure out how to manage, but it was funny. Outside of that, the Bahamas is absolutely beautiful.
She's probably doing that. So first, some of my thoughts are like, she's wealthy enough that maybe, like, why wouldn't you? Presumably, she's wealthy enough. Like, who knows her financial situation for real? But like, she doesn't have to bartend to provide for her family. Presumably she can take the time off, but mental wellness, like working and feeling your passion, and she's going to be taking time off, no doubt, when the baby does arrive. So like, to take so much time off from your career is just unreasonable, in my opinion, if you enjoy doing it. So go Margot Robbie, like, good for her.
Go, you beautiful queen, you. We love you.
Get that coin, hustle that ass, enjoy the hell out of whatever it is that you spent your time doing until that baby comes, because I tell you, they will sit on you. I saw a picture.
They will sit on you. Jessica's a lazy boy, a lazy girl, a lazy human.
I saw a picture. A beautiful picture of like this mama loon with all of her babies on her back while she was swimming in the river. And I was like, I feel that deeply. And it's clear that like, it transcends all species. Mothers just get sit on. Anyways, okay, exciting for Margot Robbie.
Exciting for Margot Robbie. Mother's just get. Now that I have teenagers, I don't get sit on anymore. I just get shit on.
Yeah.
Do you know how many times? I mean, and I think that my kids love me. My daughter still really loves me. My Revi is constantly concerned for my safety and my well-being. I'm pretty sure Bennett loves me the most, but right now everything that I say and do is repulsive.
2 nights ago, I made what I thought was a delicious dinner. I was very excited about it. I chat GPT'd my ingredients and it told me what to do. So that was like a new experiment. And Peyton refused to eat it. And I kind of got pissed off. Like I took it personally. Clay ate it, not a lot of it. And then Matt did not eat it. So I think he said Matt ended up saying it was really, really terrible.
Was it bad?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I loved it. So it took croissant rolls, and then Matt made ribs a couple days ago. So I cut up leftover ribs, and then I used some garlic and some shredded cheese and a little bit of mayonnaise to make a little mixture in with the stuff. And I made little pockets and baked it. And I was really excited about it, but nobody was.
Sounds like the same lady who thought real macaroni and cheese was Velveeta noodles. You know what? When Maddie becomes the groundskeeper of the Robinson estate, someday I would just let him do all the cooking, unless you're looking to experiment.
No. If I let him do all the cooking, it will only be smoked meats, and we will be shitting our pants. It's all it would be. He watches so much cooking shows, but literally only makes one category. He doesn't utilize what he's watching. It's just not registering.
Oh, don't get me started, dude. It's okay, speaking of teenagers, so we're in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
We've done a couple excursions. We're all very different in our comfort level of different experiences.
Yeah.
And excursions. Reeve, who loves to fish, will not get into the ocean. He will, with his cousins, he'll do the shore. What?
He probably heard the dolphin story. This makes sense. Don't get in that fucking ocean.
No, once they put shark bands on us to go snorkeling, he was like, fuck that. And then his nose got I don't know, whatever the worst degree of burns is, probably that one.
Yeah.
So I'm also not, I don't care anymore. I remember wrestling my kids when they were your kids' age to put sunscreen on. Now I'm like, burn motherfucker, see what happens. But Bennett told me we were found a sea turtle. I'll just give you an example of what he said to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, come on, Mr. Sea Turtle. Just, being myself. And he goes, Mom, it's not a fucking circus animal. I fucking looked at him and I am not mature enough to go, I'm not. I looked at him and I go, no fucking shit, Sherlock. I grew up on a farm. I raised animals. I was just trying to talk to it.
Just trying to talk to it.
Then, okay, this adventure, it's raining. The whole day ended up being a really great day, but the first thing we did was went to what's called Pig Island. So if you're a listener and you're listening, it's basically an island where farm animal pigs shit and piss and get fed pineapple, and they charge you $25 a head to feed these fucking pigs, okay? And
literally, Heather did this her entire life.
My entire life.
They charge you.
You want to go to Jessica's house? Go shovel some shit. You want to go to the fair? Show an animal. You want to go, literally had to shovel shit, copious amounts of shit, spray out pens, birth babies, deal with vets, give shots, watch animals be castrated.
And now you're paying $25
to feed them pineapple. Well, they piss in the ocean
that you're swimming in.
That I'm swimming in. It's raining and hot and humid. And we have 10 people on our boat in our family. And nobody else will get off the boat. They're like, fuck it. The boys, Bennett and Reaver, like, Bennett's like, I am absolutely not feeding fucking pigs. Mike Smith
But
was
like
not feeding pigs. Carrie Holland, my cousin, grew up on a cattle farm. She's not feeding pigs for $25. She's not.
when like all of the world sees like the influencers of the world, they come to this location so that they have the experience, and you guys are like, fuck this experience. We do this at home. We don't need this shit.
So then for 2 days, Liv was like, do you think Papa would let me have a pig at his house? I'd go feed it every day. And her best friend Sylvie's here, whose also family happens to have a pig farm. Okay. And Sylvie's like, no, you won't. You won't feed it every day. I'm like, nope, you won't. You will not. You don't feed the fucking rabbit.
And that's in
You
your
don't
house.
feed the, you don't feed the longest living COVID rabbit of all time. I do. So it's been, the Bahamas is beautiful. The Bohemian people have been overly hospitable. Our house is beautiful. We've done some really fun things. We've done a lot of really relaxing things. But as they grow, you know, everyone has an opinion of what vacation is to them. And I'm really still very much into forced family fun time.
Yeah.
And
Maybe forever.
fuck you guys. I even said at one point, pretend to have fun or I'll fucking throw you over the. At one point I said to Liv, get your ass in the ocean. Get your ass in the ocean. Let's talk about real spring break. Like, let's travel all the way across the world to argue with your family in a new spot.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished.
Oh man, but at least
We are surviving and thriving.
that's good. At least
I'm ready to go home and see my dogs. They don't fucking make me feel stupid.
Well, at least it's warm. We did get snow and ice storm, and it thunderstormed, and there was tornadoes north of us just like a day or two ago. Yeah, and I had to take care of the chickens. I hadn't been out there. Like I skipped a day, and I knew they'd be fine, but I knew they couldn't go 2 days. So I'm sitting on the phone with my coworker, like explaining this to her, how these weather conditions are, and that I have to go check on the chickens. And she said, think of it like an ice bath, like a redneck ice bath. And I was like, yeah, I guess it is. I am a redneck ice bath.
Mine over matter, motherfuckers. When we were going through that ocean after we got off of Pig Island and it was like 80 degrees outside, but it was raining and it was hitting me so hard in the face. It felt like razor blades on the boat. I was like, better than stepping in pig shit.
And maybe that was like a dermaplane. That was like a infusion.
That's what I needed.
Yeah,
that's
and
what I needed.
And the salt is healing.
37-and-a-half-year-old skin today.
I'm getting my first facial today. I've never had a facial before.
Bitch, please. I don't want people touching my face either, but an esthetician, beautiful. Okay, here's my experience with estheticians.
The girl who used to work at Margot's Blush. She started a new one. Blush.
My mama goes and sees her. My mama goes and sees her. Yeah. Here's my deal about people touching me and my face, and I hope you get the same experience. I don't love my face touched. I don't like my kids to touch my face. Don't really like my husband to touch my face. Totally aligned. But in my experience, most estheticians are the most gorgeous creatures with the best hygiene, with the softest hands, with the best skin, with great breath. Like,
I did back to that one.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get in there, girl.
Yeah. I wasn't going to say where I was going, so I might cut it out because, well, how about this? I'll leave
We're giving a lot of free advertising, and we have to stop doing that because.
Well, it was
or
more
we don't.
What if I hated it? And I wanted to talk about whether or not I liked it in the next episode. So if I liked it, then we'll leave all of that in there and plant a seed. If I hated it, I won't say where I went. I'll just say I got my first facial, and then it'll be this afternoon. So I'll let you know in the next episode how it went. But
real quick, top of the house, what is happening in this world with Trump's tariffs, Canada? What's pissing you off? You had a couple posts. Give me the tea.
What I can't understand, what I was observing yesterday. So like all business news, that's where I like Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal. I do like New York Times and like Atlantic reporting. I like how they do some kind of like investigative reporting. They do a great job, but I can't subscribe to them because I get like tired of their whatever. So I dabble between like Bloomberg and Wall Street Journal. So what I really like, because to me, business news is more interesting in the markets. And they're all just like, worst market conditions in by any metric. Like it's really, really, really bad. And I was like, okay, I spent the last week helping my dad, and he watches nothing but Fox News, and I'm shocked at like the level of content they're spending on really, really small, like the amount of time I've seen them talk about Tesla's on fire, and I'm like, this isn't even a real problem. Like they're making it like the whole left is like burning Teslas. Like the whole fucking world is on fire. And I'm like, you guys, this is like 10 people in the world on like transgender sports. 10 people. Like it's not a real, let like the school board handle that, or like let somebody else. Fox News does not have to be consuming like tens of millions of people's minds. This is so crazy. I just could not believe it. So I was like, yesterday, the same thing. Okay, if like all of the smart publications, that's what I really think. Like Bloomberg and Wall Street Journal, they're people who are smart on the economy. They know what they're talking about. What are the like turning points of the world? Like, what are they saying? So I don't really know what these publications are. So I Googled conservative news. And I looked up whatever, like everything that was on the first page of Google. I clicked on them and read all of the news. There are several that are like, this will fuck us. This is not good. And then one called the American Conservative covered anything but the tariffs. Like they published a whole bunch of other stuff about the border and all kinds of stuff. Again, like, okay, if that's important to you, great. But like, I live in Michigan. My border is pretty good. Like I know this is not something that I.
No, we've made Canada very mad. We love you, Canada.
No, I know, but like, the Mexican illegal immigrants fentanyl concerns are like, okay, fine, but like it's not an issue that's top of mind for me, and I'm just going to worry about me and my people right now. Like that's all I got, and my 401k is fucked, and so I'm worried about me and my people. That matters more to me. Anyways, they covered it like on a really sort of factual high level about like what was happening. And at the very bottom, it just said the markets reacted poorly. I'm like, motherfuckers, this is crazy.
You think? You don't got to be an economist to have that as your takeaway.
Yeah, but then Donald Trump gets on TV and he's like, yeah, they're doing great. The plan is as expected. This is what's going to happen. This is expected. So then everybody who just trusts him blindly, like my dad and several people that I know, are just like, yeah, this is good. And I'm like, weird. The $50,000 I just lost is not good. It just doesn't feel
Speaking
good.
of Donald Trump, I saw Ivanka's house that he gave her up close and personal, like from here to, like if you're cruising that in the Bahamas that he gave to Ivanka. It's the only house on this island with its own beach.
Wow.
It's fully furnished. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it looks like Ivanka. I see why she got it.
Is Ivanka his wife or his daughter?
I'm sorry, Ivana.
Oh, which one is which? I don't know.
No, I don't fucking know either, actually. He married Ivanka. His daughter is Ivana. His wife was Ivana. His daughter is Ivanka. I don't fucking know.
His current wife is Melania, so it's not that far off. It's very confusing.
Very confusing. I just looked out the window. I'm like, there's kind of like a cute guy on the rocks. He's bald, but that's all right.
Is your husband?
My husband.
Ah.
Let me get my notes going here, girl. Give me up. I'm very excited about Dunkin Donuts today. Mostly because they went through a major rebrand. The reason we're doing are we ready? Are we ready for the real tea?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's go. Straight up the gate. So everyone knows my cousin Jennifer, shout out to Jennifer, owns a donut shop in Arizona. So Jennifer, when this episode goes live, put in the comments your donut shop's name, the name of your donut shop, and we'll send some merch to the donut shop.
Love that.
She's underneath a franchise brand, but I'd like her to articulate it. And maybe even Jen, if you wanted to come on and talk about being a franchise owner, that'd be really cool for Jess and I too. So anyway, my cousin Jennifer is a franchise owner of a donut brand. Sent me a message a while back, and I'm going to make fun of Jennifer a little bit. Jennifer does not drink hardly ever. And does not say the F word. And she's the oldest cousin on my mama's side of the family. And so she sent me a really long message about the show and how much she loved it outside of the drinking and swearing. And I said, well, we'll try to tighten it up. Probably not really, but so Auntie Jen, but she said she really loved our business insights and was really curious on Dunkin Donuts and, when they were Dunkin Donuts versus just Dunkin, why'd they do that? Because my understanding is her company is perhaps evolving in the same way. So for me, the story today really is the rebrand, but there's also a really cool story within how the company started. So we'll spend like a little bit of time on company history, and then I want to get to the rebrand and the marketing, and then I want you to dig into, like, I think the marketing just naturally goes to the social, some of the celebrities, etc., which I'm sure you've got some tea on as well.
Kind of a little bit. Yeah, let's talk about it.
All right, let's go. So the founder, quickly, some founder history, which I think is always fun. The founder was William Rosenberg. He founded the chain of Dunkin Donuts. He was born in Massachusetts in 1960. Very interesting enough, he left middle school in 8th grade to help support his family during the Great Depression.
In what era was this then? What years?
The Great Depression. So in 1916, he was born and raised in Massachusetts in 1916.
I thought I heard 60, and I thought that's okay.
That 1916. Sorry, thank you.
Old history then. Like, I didn't realize Dunkin was that old.
Yes, it's old. Well, not yet. 1950 is when he birthed it, but he was an entrepreneur by trade. So left home 8th grade to help his family support in the Great Depression. He worked a variety of jobs, from delivering telegrams for Western Union at just 14. He landed a job driving an ice cream truck when he was 17, and by the time he was 20, he worked himself up to management in that same company. And I think that's a theme a lot. If you think about a lot, even like today at the company I work at, our CEO was a run plant engineer, right?
Mm-hmm.
He certainly didn't sweep the floors, but he did very close to that when you're an entry-level plant engineer, right? It's not all glamour and glory.
The CEO of Costco was a forklift driver. Like, there's, yeah.
Yeah. The origins of Dunkin' Donuts started to go back to World War II when he realized, Rosenberg, was working at the Quincy shipyards in Massachusetts and realized that there wasn't enough luncheon services for the workers. And so he borrowed $1,000 and used, I think, around $1,500 in bonds to start the company he called Industrial Luncheon Services, which served sandwiches, coffee, donuts, and snacks out of an old telephone booth, which is really cool.
Oh my God.
And then he out of old and really what the telephone booth was almost like a modern day. He converted that telephone booth into what we would call like a modern day food truck.
Okay.
In 1948, he realized like half of his sales were coming from coffee, which I think will loop us back to the rebrand in 2019, dropping in the donut. He opened his first shop. It was called the Open Kettle. He sold coffee for 10 cents and donuts for 5 cents. So I thought that was super interesting. He was grossing over $5,000 a week, but he wasn't happy with that. Noticing that the customers dunked their donuts in the coffee, Open Kettle was renamed Dunkin' Donuts in 1950. So it went from industrial luncheon services out of a phone booth to the Open Kettle he opened in 1948, to Dunkin' Donuts as we know it in 1950, and then to Dunkin' in 2019.
Okay. I still say Dunkin' Donuts.
Yep. He went very quickly, and within 5 years, he opened his first franchise. By 1963, they had 100 restaurants. In 2019, they went from around 6,000 restaurants, and through the rebrand, went to 9,000 restaurants. And today, there's 12,000 locations, 32 international chains. How many are in Nassau, the capital of Bahamas alone, do you think?
In the Bahamas?
Mm-hmm.
Shit, I don't know. Like 10.
Yeah, 8 to 10. 6 to 8.
That's
In the capital of Nassau alone, Bahamas. Yep.
Wow. Oh, in the capital. Oh my God.
Alone. Just the capital. Yeah, there's 12,000. I'll give you more stats here in a minute. So 1963, his son took over. His son went to Harvard. And he really sort of expanded the menu offerings, started to include breakfast sandwiches, culottes, other beverages. He moved paper and styrofoam cups. They're not styrofoam cups. They're foam cups. They're EPS, not XPS. You're welcome.
You will die on that hill.
Right? I will die on that hill. Croissants, bagels, muffins, etc. He did some innovation type stuff. And then I think the story sort of gets to the rebranding. So
do they still sell
ask me the questions.
Yeah, do they still sell food?
They do.
Okay.
They do. Let me click that over.
coffee is really their cash cow.
We'll
Like
get to that. That's
right.
that's a big part of the why, for sure.
Just because we're talking about the founder, one thing that I just thought was so inspiring, like he really had a hard life, but the thing that I think kept like coming through is like work really hard. You are not smart. Like nobody is a genius. You don't have like nobody has a new idea. All he believes that like all of the ideas that have been had. You just have to figure out meet them where they are, like whoever idea you like or whatever idea you feel like you have, find out who's doing it the best and then just do it a little bit better, because that's the thing that makes you successful. So the stories that you told me about like the different endeavors that he went through, that was like where I stopped listening to the story just because we started recording, but was basically like coffee has been done, donut shops have been done, and just figure out how to make the coffee a little bit better or offer more variety of donuts, and that's how you will win. Master like the one or two things that you know you are like serving for your customer, and then just make it a little bit better. It's not original. And I thought that's really interesting. Takes the pressure off of having to be like some greatness something. Like in the world that we live in today, there's all these like tech bros and like people who are like, oh, I've got the best new idea. And you kind of don't.
You kind of don't.
You don't. But like you might have made somebody else's idea just a little bit better, and then maybe you can deliver that. But like if it's that simple, I just think that's so interesting. Anyways.
It's very interesting. And I think too, to your point, okay, also I think what we want, I want to go back to when we talk about the 2019 brand strategy is, I think one place to level set is what Dunkin realized. So we'll start in 1990 really quick, and then I'll get to the epiphany. 1990, the world became more health conscious, and that's when Starbucks really started to hit the map. And so my point in sharing that is when the market goes from we don't care about processed sugar to we're only going to drink green drinks, that always goes back to my culture changes, market changes, so your company has to change. And so generally, unless you want to become a dinosaur and die, you've got to evolve with your market at some way. I'm not saying you leave your values. I'm not saying you totally disband, what you're really good at or your core offerings. I'm not saying your whole business strategy changes, but you do have to change as the market changes. And so in 1990, they started to expand their offerings a little bit, make them more health conscious. Starbucks was on the map doing health conscious things. I think interesting enough as well, the audience should know when you start to your offering, you're expanding the labor intensity in which that offering creates in your restaurant, whether that be more inventory, more diversification of inventory, more packaging, more ingredients, more steps, more labor, all of those things. But they took that risk and made those investments because they needed to offer more than just donuts to survive with the market need and demand and problem to solve with more health conscious food. And so really in 2019, when they rebranded from Dunkin to Dunkin Donuts, I think from a strategic perspective, they did it for a couple of reasons. Reason number one, just from a pure descriptor, if the audience, you are narrowing what the market believes you offer just by the title of your company. So Dunkin Donuts does not imply you have extensive coffee selection, breakfast sandwiches, health shakes, drinks of the month. It sounds like you have primarily donuts. So I think just a straight out of the gate, how it was branded and where the market evolved, taking that donuts off and having no other strategic reason than just to not limit yourself by name in general was really important. Strategically, outside of that, they were realizing that 60% of their sales were coming from beverages. 60 to your point. And so,
it's not surprising.
Unlike donuts, what Dunkin Donuts realized was 60% of their sales are coming from coffee, but also coffee, unlike donuts, is like a ritual. Right? You get a coffee every morning.
Oh my God.
Right? So
Yeah.
not only are you likely expanding turn, meaning the number of people coming through your doors or through your drive-through, you're also likely expanding repeat customers and loyalty and growing. I won't use the fancy marketing word, but you're growing the amount of dollars you can get per customer, which is also super interesting. So I get why they did it. In 2019, they sold $1.6 billion in ice and hot drinks. And by 2024, they've sold 4.4 billion cups.
Wow.
They've expanded to 50 new menu items in the last 4 years. And the pandemic hit and breakfast took a huge hit. And their cold drink again was their saving grace. It also, the pandemic created a new day crowd where you wouldn't typically be able to go through a drive-through in the middle of your day. Now you're working from home and ordering a cold beverage, caffeinated beverage in the afternoon. So everything that I can...
Sometimes I think when you have the monotony of like a pandemic and that's what you're living through, the coffee might be the highlight of your afternoon. Like you need the treat to get by.
Yes, 100%. And really, I think it's part of it. 2019 when they dropped the Dunkin', that's just the name change, right? That came out with the name, the visual identity. With that, right, they had a multi-generational plan, not only from their brick and mortar store footprint to rebrand and revamp that experience.
Yeah.
It was really a larger strategy to modernize the brand inside out. From the in-person experience to the app experience, and to really become a beverage-led company versus a donut-led company, which makes a ton of sense.
I feel like what you said, even the beginning of their story, they are a donut shop for some reason, but coffee was still always such an important part of their offering. So it's just interesting to me that that didn't become more front and center sooner somehow.
Okay, fun fact. Do you know what a munchkin is?
A munchkin?
Yes.
No.
The donut hole. Do you know why the donut hole was created?
No.
To save dough waste.
Oh, no way.
Yep. And I think if you take your kids to a drive-thru and surprise them this week for a special treat, get them munchkins and take a cute picture. Because they'll love them. They'll change their experience. Yeah, totally. They wanted to be more relevant. They wanted to have a more brand, right? Younger customers as well don't want a donut in the morning. They want a blah, 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 blah. Okay, so let's get to their positioning. So America runs on Dunkin', and then you look down to their marketing, demand creation. They do a ton of spoofs against Starbucks. They make fun of the goat milk latte, frozen, They have hilarious, some of the best SNL spoofs I've seen are Dunkin' Donuts. Casey Affleck is fucking hilarious smoking cigarettes inside the Dunkin' Donuts, pretending he's not smoking inside. They've had brand collabs from Tom Brady to Will Arnett to Charlie D'Amelio. To Matt Damon, to Ding Dong Dante. Who the fuck is that?
I don't know. There was a huge, like the Super Bowl was like a huge Dunkin' Donut.
Huge.
Wasn't it?
Huge. You have to watch. We'll put it in the car. I already have them. I'm going to email this to you right now because if I'm not, I cannot online.
It feels like Starbucks is for like fancy, like snotty, like if I'm really gonna like category. And then like, there's Dunkin'. It's like a little more blue collar, or like the people
100%.
don't take themselves too seriously. I was gonna do like rural and city, but it's really not even that. I am getting the like New York is for Starbucks and LA is for Starbucks, and then like Boston, Philly, you know.
100%. The boss so you have got to watch the SNL episode, the SNL smoking spoof. It's fucking hilarious. You've got to watch the Tom Brady and Van Affleck, Matt Damon throwing the ball at Dunkin' Donuts. You've got to watch the Boston accent during the Super Bowl commercial making fun of Starbucks. But everyone loves coffee, right? It's everyone's coffee, right? Where Starbucks is for the elite.
Yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts is for everyone. And I'd rather brew Dunkin' Donuts at home.
It's what we do.
It's what we do. It's what we do. It's all we do. The Dunkin' Donuts pods are too rich for my blood, as I mentioned. So I'm going back I found some veteran coffee that sells it in the pods, a special little, but the pricing is still good. And I feel like it's good coffee. I think they're, as the kids would say, or maybe they don't, Dunkin' Donuts food is kind of booty shorts. I'd rather have a Krispy Kreme.
What?
Booty shorts.
Booty shorts?
Yeah, booty shorts.
I don't get it. Their food is booty shorts?
Ew.
What does that mean? It's gross?
Booty shorts.
Interesting.
Where do you
Interesting.
think those booty shorts go? Up your what?
Cooter.
And your
Ass.
crack. Cooter and crack. Nobody wants a pair of booty shorts. Booty shorts. Anyways, I think the food's basically booty shorts. I think the coffee's stellar. I'd take it over Starbucks coffee every day outside of the brown sugar make milkshake and espresso from Starbucks. I see also why the Starbucks CEO is simplifying their portfolio and their experience to try to appeal to everyone's America. I think you're too late. I think. I like my fancy drink from there, but I would rather drink Dunkin' Donuts on the regular. From a sustainability standpoint, I didn't really dig into that very much. They've got sustainability claims on their website, nothing overly controversial as I can find.
So here's what we could do in a snapshot. So we did cover like the coffee perspective
That's
of
what I thought you'd remember,
sustainability.
Jessica. Yep.
So I feel like that's covered with Starbucks. I feel like that's still true for Dunkin'. There's the issue with the disposable cups. That's not unique. Like it is what it is. I don't know, whatever. And if anything, Dunkin's a little more lean in all of their new stores. Like they don't create these like big retail spots. Some of them you don't even go into. They're only drive-through, which is a very like lean footprint. So we could just still make a little bit of an assessment just on what we know. That I think is like not terribly concerning. We don't really probably know. Do they have any scandals about like their workers or?
I did a lot, not that I can find. I mean, I'm sure there is, and if I can follow up with it at the top of the next episode. But I really got nerded out on the branding, and I think the takeaway is, and the positioning and the market. And I think what my cousin was asking me is this a good thing or a bad thing? And
Yeah.
I think the answer to that is
Dunkin' a good thing or a bad thing?
yeah. Was that a good right? Because her company's, I think what they're trying to do is either not lead with donuts anymore, perhaps. And was it a good thing when Dunkin' decided not to lead with donuts? And I think my takeaway is absolutely. And they say we're not ever going away from donuts. We're always going to have specialty donuts. We're just not going to lead with them, right? They're going to be a part of our menu. They are not going to be.
Liv.
Oh, hi, Liviana. Yeah. So Miss Jess the bag I got in the Bahamas real quick while you're in here.
Right in the podcast.
Yes.
Oh.
Professional hair braider here in the Bahamas as well because everyone's hair. Check out this cute handmade bag I bought.
Oh, that's gorgeous. It's very Kathy Hilton.
Yes, I love her. She's my favorite Hilton.
So I was trying to look into a little bit of scandals a bit. I didn't see anything that was like unique and scandalous. I was also trying to figure out why there is such a cult following around Dunkin', because there is.
They
And
invested a lot in marketing.
yeah, so maybe that's what it is. So maybe it is because they get into the zeitgeist with SNL and they obviously did like it was very clever, the Super Bowl. Those are all just recent things and they've done that for a long time. So it feels like they're a part of your life. They're not just so that could be why. I do think the East Coast, I did reach out to a couple of my coworkers, but I will have to like follow and listeners, like what I really want to know is why is it such a cult following? Because everything that I looked up online, I went through like Reddit posts and people agree. Like that's what people are saying. It is a cult following, but the sentiment is crazy. So people commented, Bill Burr said something like New Englanders drink Dunkin' coffee because they don't think they deserve happiness. Dunkin' truly fascinates me because it's the only restaurant I go to a few times a week that I would never recommend to someone who hasn't been there before.
I hate their food. I think it's booty shorts. I'd rather have a Krispy Kreme donut or like I don't eat breakfast sandwich. Like I think their food is downright. It's not as bad as Tim Hortons food. Sorry to my Tim Hortons people. And their coffee. I think Tim Hortons food, coffee, and food is booty shorts.
It's just crazy. It's crazy to me how the
eggs don't look real.
Following, and yet like people shit on it. People who love it and go there all the time also shit on it. Like
I'll tell you what though, a box of Timbits and a black coffee in the morning once in a while as a treat is good. Getting your kids a donut full of frosting and sprinkles is a really fun treat, especially at their age. But again, they don't serve beer there, so I'm not looking for their mediocre food like I am B-Dubs.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But I will clink to Dunkin' Donuts.
Me too.
I'm again, Jen, if we didn't answer questions specifically, again, I think they realized that a bunch of their drinks were making up a portion of the sales. I think they realized that the market was changing in terms of the offerings on their food menu. I think they realized that donuts, just by the name of the title, was limiting them from expansion or addressing a market which it was growing. And so I think, it'd be one thing if they certainly went away from donuts, if the data was, donuts aren't great or they're not part of the offering or we're not making money, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're just realizing that. And I think if anything, if you think about your hours of service and when you're open, people are going to come in and get an iced drink and a good fresh sandwich, perhaps in the afternoon, and not necessarily a beautiful, huge, fabulous bacon wrapped donut. So I'd be interesting on the why behind their ask, but I think for Dunkin', I can clink. I think it was a great business strategy. Their fucking marketing is genius, and I do owe the audience to like what I think they spend on marketing because they work with 3 huge agencies, have in-house creative, all the things. So it's Tom Brady,
It's big money.
Ben Affleck,
Big money.
and Matt Damon are in one commercial.
On
Their
the-
budget is something that I would only dream to own.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So we're clinking, bitch.
Clink
And I
too.
miss
I did finish my pot of Dunkin', my home brewed Dunkin'. All right, safe travels home.
See you Sunday. Yeah,
Thank you for a fun, amazing catch up.
it was amazing. All right, enjoy your facial. We'll be excited to hear about how that pucker goes too.
Okay, see you, lady. Safe
Bye.
travels. Have fun.
Thank you for listening to Stirred Up. If you like what you heard, please subscribe, check us out on YouTube, follow us on your podcast apps. Please send it to a friend, leave a comment, add a rating. Every little bit helps. We look forward to seeing you next week.